Which one?
Which one? Both.
Woo! Alright, back in our normal schedule of
Alright.
of this beautiful baby we created. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny. I told that thing to play and it doesn't want to play. What the fuck?
Anyways. Howdy fucking duty, we are back. Been a while.
Oh shit.
We'll tell you what happened in just a few, so yeah, welcome again. It's been what, a couple weeks?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. It's been a while. Anybody new? I am Crude the Corpse. This is
Butthole the Clown. But yeah, we miss you guys. We really do miss you. We've been busy with personal shit.
He's been busy being sick.
Yes. But that's exactly what happened with me. I got COVID. Oh, I had COVID. So I was gone for 2 weeks, and then I had a emergency the following week of the last 2 weeks. And my kid got sick. So that happened. Most inconvenient time out of all of them.
He's calling us.
But today we have Barry E. Jackson. He's a well digital artist.
Let's see, where's he at? Hi.
How you doing?
Pretty good. We're live right now.
All right, I'm glad I finally caught up with you guys.
Yeah, we're live.
I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, just go on. Just look us up on Instagram, and you should say live.
I don't
See?
know what you're talking. I don't know what we're talking about right now.
Just go to Dead Laughing and press on the little. That'd be the name, right? The picture, the profile picture.
Okay.
Yeah, as soon as you see that.
I thought I just did that. I'll push up the profile picture.
All right.
Let me hang up.
All right.
That was him. He's kind of new to this, so we're trying to get him in, but he's definitely gonna join us in a bit. He's just gonna.
Yeah, he hasn't done it like this before on here, so it's a new experience for him.
Wow. What has this been happening since we've been gone?
What's been happening? Other than you getting COVID?
Yeah.
I'm still all fucked up. Yes, I'm still feeling the injuries.
Upcoming event that we're gonna go to, that we've been doing from the
CreepyCon. Went to the first one.
We did. That was a year ago, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be there again. So I don't know if the Fesh is gonna be there. I know he's on right now with us on the live. So we'll be there. Hopefully you're there, either walking around, shopping around, or vending. Hopefully you're vending, because
there he is.
That's always awesome. We're gonna get him in right now. He just joined.
Hey Google.
So
play music.
Hopefully we. Ooh, and I'm full. I ate too much food. There you go. Now we're here.
I get it. All righty, I did it.
You did.
It's a major technical achievement for me.
Hi, Barry. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Great. We're doing fantastic.
Good.
I believe you're in California as well, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm in Studio City.
Oh, sick.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So you're really not that far at all from you.
Studio City is pretty far.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying like it's in the same state, but that's great.
Yeah, we're in San Bernardino.
You ever heard of San
Bernardino? Yeah, I used to live in Riverside.
Oh, sick, nice. Yeah.
Oh, so you kind of know the area.
Well, some. I do, yeah.
Right.
Lovely
yeah,
costume.
Let's get started. Let's start with your with your name and what do you do exactly?
Oh, I'm an artist, and I work in the entertainment industry, and I'm probably, well, I've done lots of things. I've done record album covers, and I've done uh, work on animated films, and I've also done title sequences for movies. So I'm basically an artist for hire.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
So
seen. Well, I'm familiar with your work. I didn't know you worked on was it Lord of the Rings? The
I worked on
the first one.
I worked on Ralph Bakshi's Lord of the Rings. That was my very first job I ever had.
Yeah, it was said. Well, what I read was that you painted the backgrounds.
That's right. That's right. So yes, I was. That was what I did when I first got out of school. That was a while ago, as you can probably tell.
Yeah. I seen the year, and I remember watching it when I was younger. It's like, whoa, because the backgrounds. Well, the animation looked really good. The backgrounds always
Yeah.
look. Holy hell! Like, was that all hand painted? Obviously, it had to be that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Back then, it was all hand painted. We painted it with acrylic paint, and Ralph was a madman, and he made the Lord of the Rings movie. So
Yeah.
Damn.
it's I think I did about 100 paintings for the film.
For just one.
Damn.
That's just one.
For one film. That's a long movie, yeah.
Yeah.
But you also worked on a few other bands, like you said. You also worked with what, ZZ Top, the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, I did 3 album covers for ZZ Top, and I got to know the band pretty well at one time, or I should say, I got to know Billy Gibbons pretty well at one time. And then I worked for Neil Young, and I worked for the Grateful Dead. I worked for the band. I did about 12 album covers, let's just say that. And I also did some well-known movie posters as well. So back in my younger days when I was still painting, all the ZZ Top covers were hand painted, but I also did the movie poster for Escape from New York. You might remember the of the Statue of Liberty's head in the middle of the street. That was one of them. And I did probably about 10 or 12 movie posters. Some are pretty well known. But, I'm a guy, been around the entertainment industry a long time and done lots of stuff. So, I mean, 30 years of doing artwork basically in Hollywood and Studio City. That's what I'm about.
That's really exciting to talk to, like someone like you that has all that history behind them and
all the experience, everything that you worked on is damn.
Yeah,
we're happy you agreed to be on.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I feel very badly that I missed the first episode. I think I didn't understand how it worked. I thought you were going to send me a Zoom invite or something. So I didn't really
we're working on that. Sorry.
Okay. Well,
just for right now, we're doing this, and
yeah, I'm interested. How did you find out about me? I'm just curious.
I think your work just popped up like on our feed, and it was Cool World. Some of the backgrounds for Cool World, and like the city, the landscape, everything. And I'm not gonna lie, I watched that when I was a little kid, and it just everything. The look of it looked amazing, and I'd say it kind of influenced some of my own creations, and it was just amazing. And then when I seen that you're the one who did it, I just had to send the invite. Couldn't help it.
That's really nice. It's nice to, Cool World has found a whole new life on Instagram. It's really funny. I post those images, and I've attracted followers and all sorts of things now. And I actually even teach an art class on Instagram. So it's kind of changed my life to start posting all my old work on Instagram. It's like a whole new life has suddenly appeared. So it's kind of exciting for me.
Yeah,
that's really awesome, shit.
Yeah, from back in the days and to now's technology, and people could easily share information and share other people's work with the touch of someone's finger. So it's much easier, and it's mind blowing. because a lot of artists are starting to pop up, and it's easier for them to put themselves out there. So it's a perfect time right now for artists to try to put their work out there as much as they can.
If you're an artist and you want to get discovered, you better be on Instagram. I think it's a must nowadays. It's a thing you have to do. And it took me a while to realize it, but once I realized it, yeah, it's a great place to be. It doesn't cost a lot of money, and then everybody stumbles across your work, and I don't know, it's like a whole new things happened. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, another great thing is that they provide the tools for you to do it, as for advertisement and all that good stuff. So that's another great thing that's been happening.
Are you talking about the development of digital art?
Well, I'm saying like Instagram to help other artists. It doesn't matter what type of form they give you
for promotion and everything.
Yeah, they give you the tools to help you.
Yeah,
put your name out there. So
you can promote yourself, and you sort of have to be a cult-like follower of Instagram. You gotta post all the time. You gotta keep up with it and stuff. But it's not bad, and it's a really cool Instagram. I like it.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. One thing that cracked me up, he never watched, since I brought up Cool World, he never seen it. But he's seen it recently, and he fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Really?
He said it was worth it. It was really worth it just to finally see it. Because you said you've heard about it multiple times, right?
Well, I've seen it, I've heard about it, but I never really watched it. And then when I did, I actually blew my mind, because just your art style, and you can see it in other type of work you've done. Like, also, for an example, the Grinch that you worked on, like the buildings and all that. You kind of see like the warped and it's not. It's insane. It's from thin to big. It has like its own characters. The buildings themselves have their own life to them, which you can see it.
That's right. They're like living creatures or something like that. And when I started to do that, I actually helped Ralph Bakshi get the movie, because originally he came to me with just a script, and I started drawing these buildings in ink. They were very twisted and strange, and he got excited and he took it into Paramount, and it helped him get a movie deal. So the art can actually help a director like Ralph Bakshi, actually get a movie. So I do a lot of that kind of thing too, where people who want to make a movie will come to me and want images so they can go pitch it somewhere. So that's another thing that I do. So yeah, I found a home here in Studio City, you could say.
Wow. So sometimes I feel like somebody needs some help with picturing the script coming to life, and that's kind of what artists do. They kind of bring it to life and help people that really don't have the imagination. That's when we come in. So that's like a great example right there.
Yeah, it's
Bravo.
cool. Although I don't do it for free, just so you know.
Oh, we understand that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So yeah, it's a studio or somebody who works for a company will contact me, and they'll have they have an idea of something they want, and then I'll spend a few months sometimes working on it. But yeah, I do that kind of thing a lot too. I also do my own painting as well. So I'm trying to break away from being commercial and trying to just do my own type of thing with nobody else involved. That's hard. That's a hard thing to do, because then you're responsible for it, and you don't have any excuses. It's like, it's either good or you didn't do it, that kind of thing. So I like the challenge of that.
Yeah, I understand that one.
You also worked on the Sausage Party.
Oh yeah,
I did.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Yeah. Sausage Party. Yeah. Actually, a guy who worked on Cool World ended up being the director of Sausage Party. So I
Oh
first
yeah.
met this guy. His name's Conrad Vernon, and he was just out of school, and his first job was Cool World. But we made friends, and I've known him, ever since he was like just out of school. And then, he went to DreamWorks and he directed Monsters versus Aliens. And then he wanted to do more adult things. So he got, I think it was Seth Rogen was kind of
Yeah.
backing.
Oh, yeah.
And they made that movie for $19 million and it made $100 million. So that's a good investment. If you can put 19 up and get 100 back, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Oh
deal.
hell yeah. And you
Yeah.
can't get more adult than Sausage Party. Holy
No,
shit.
no, at all.
Wow. Yeah, honestly, I saw the premiere, very early screening anyway. I loved it though. I mean, I thought it was really, really funny, but I was a little shocked at some of the stuff the food did. Okay, I was, I
So,
was not, I was pretty surprised.
because when I went to go watch it, I saw parents bringing their kids in, thinking it's a kids movie.
Same thing with me.
And,
we saw families, and me and my wife, we heard kids ask their parents, "What do they mean? What are they talking about?" I was like, "Oh, damn!" And that made the experience so much better.
Oh, I see.
As the movie progressed and got towards the end, then I know for sure parents started to leave with their kids because I mean, obviously,
Not in the theater I was in. Everybody stayed for everything.
yeah,
It was funny as shit.
yeah, it gets pretty raunchy in there. And
Oh my
explicit,
God.
So I didn't expect that either. I was like, cool, it's probably like just a funny
Yeah.
movie, but I didn't expect the other scenes coming in. So
Yeah.
it's a funny movie.
I thought it was really funny, and I think it's kind of a classic in its own little genre. There, it's you don't get many films like that.
I mean, because shit, we're still talking about the movie, and it came out a while back, so that's also always a good sign if people are still having topics about that movie. So it's really great, but totally unexpected and not what what I was prepared for. So that's always good. But
So the one piece I was surprised to see that you did was something you shared. Well, you did the poster work for Pee-wee's Pee-wee Under the Big Top. Isn't that was it?
Yeah, that's one movie poster I worked
Big
on.
Top Pee-wee. That's what it was. Excuse me, I fucked up a little bit. There was that and Nothing But Trouble. You did the poster work for it, and it said you said it wasn't used.
Yeah, it was not used.
That
when
sucks.
when you're doing movie posters, they pay you, but if they
Yeah.
use your poster, you get a lot more money. So I was probably paid, I don't know, something like $3,500 to do that poster for Nothing But Trouble. But if I'd have got the poster, I probably would have got somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000. So it's really, really great when you get the poster, but they don't do it that way anymore. Now they have big old digital houses that do all the movie posters, and the old movie poster illustrators like me, painting and all that kind of stuff. Well, it's done differently now, which is too bad.
But that was an amazing looking piece. I mean, well, so for all of your work is really like jaw dropping. I love all of it. But seeing that because it was just coincidental. Me and my wife were talking about that movie. I think we were talking to you the same week about it too. Just like it was just a crazy ass movie. It was just random as shit, and just so happened to see it. And that you did the poster. It wasn't used. I was like, damn, why the hell didn't they use it? It was eye catching. Like what the hell?
Yeah, I really thought it was pretty good, but actually, I've worked on lots of movie campaigns where I didn't get the poster, but I have a pretty good track record of getting the poster a fair number of times. I would a few times a year I would hit, and they would like it, and then they'd print it, and it goes all over. Really, it goes all over the world. So the ad campaign is really, really important to the movie.
Yeah, true.
You don't do conventions, do you? Do you ever go to conventions?
What's really weird is I have some artist friends who go to these conventions like Comic-Con, and there's one called Lightbox. There's one called what is it, the Creative Talent Network or whatever. And all the artists get booths and they sell their stuff. And for some reason, I can't stand the idea of being in a booth and selling my art to people who go by like I'm selling pizza or hot dogs or something. You know, it just doesn't appeal to me. That seems wrong somehow. I would rather have it hang in a gallery and have people look at it and then choose to buy paintings because they like it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm turned off by. I've been to the conventions and I like walking around and seeing people's art. I just don't want to be in a booth and have a bunch of people standing there trying to hand them out to people and, oh, won't you buy my thing or whatever. I don't know. That I just I can't seem to get into that.
Yeah, I can understand
that. Yeah, you know, it's crowded. There are a lot of people there, and you know, I don't know. I just haven't really. I haven't tried it, to tell you the truth. I just haven't done it.
Well, I mean, it's not always somebody's. I can understand.
It's not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
it might be. It might be in that, you know, it's just. I guess it's just. It just seems. Does it seem kind of crude or something like that to be there in a booth like you're at Disneyland or something and you're selling candy? I don't know. It just seems kind of strange, but that doesn't mean I won't do it. I may one day do it. I don't know, but I have friends that are bugging me to do it. They're saying, "Oh, you do great. You really work great for you." But I don't know. A lot of my art is really old now, so I don't know if everybody remembers. I have young students that don't know who ZZ Top even is, you know. So that's always kind of like, oh boy, time is really flying now. Those album covers were once really big, and ZZ Top was once huge. You know, they'd fill stuff like the Staples Center and sell out and all that kind of stuff. But now, their bass player died, and they kind of slowly disappeared, and now I got students go, ZZ Top, what's that? So time marches on, you know, but not everybody.
That's their parents' fault. They're wrongdoing, little bastards. That's their damn fault.
Well, I mean, when it comes to convention, we like going and walking around and interviewing.
Yeah, we've done it. We've done it both ways. We've been behind the table at like little booth and sitting there. It just I don't know. For me, it felt a little weird just having to stand there and be like.
So I get that aspect of it. It's just that you're still just standing there, and for us, we kind of just want to interact, which we do every time you go to convention as guests to buy and to look. And the experience obviously is going to be 9-day difference, but I get it. It's better in a way.
Do you guys
walk around and whatnot? What happened?
Do you go to Comic-Con?
We haven't gone to Comic-Con.
Sadly, this year I am broke.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, wasn't able to afford it. Yeah, bills and everything came first. That's how it was. Otherwise, we would have loved to go.
I see. Okay, I just wondered what kind of conventions you go to.
We've been to. I haven't been to a lot. He's been to more than me.
Well, normally the audience we try to go for, or the conventions that we go, is like horror conventions, fantasy, sci-fi, those type of conventions.
Should be like Monsterpalooza.
Yeah.
Son of Monsterpalooza.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know about those, and there's science fiction conventions. There's a lot of those sorts of things. And if I was a smart guy, I'd probably get in on that and try to sell art there and do that. But I'm slow on the draw. I just I can't seem to get into doing that whole thing. But maybe I'll do it. You're making me.
Well,
think
I don't
about
know. I feel like the audience is 9-day difference between Comic-Con and horror fanatics and all that. I feel like it's completely different. And I mean, for horror conventions, I feel like it's people like us, kind of like outcasts, the black sheep. So people like that are there, or like us.
I think
oddball.
I think that would just be conventions in general.
Well, I'm saying for us, into dark stuff, skulls. I mean, the whole,
Yeah.
the whole shebang of it. It's a
Okay,
difference
right.
between people from Comic Con. They're into like
Yeah.
Marvel, DC
It's a
comics.
difference from going to Anime Expo to CreepyCon.
Yeah, it's different. So,
Yeah.
but I feel like your art, especially how your characters and your art style is it's dark art, would fit in that category. So,
Yeah.
if you were
I
to
do
do it,
fit.
I feel like those would be fine for you.
Yeah, I could do that kind of thing because I've done horror posters for various movies, and some of the Ralph Bakshi stuff gets kind of dark and creepy too. So yeah, I certainly don't mind doing that kind of thing. And yeah, I could go to one of those conventions if I had enough gumption to get up and do it. I guess I could go do that.
Yeah.
But
But
I don't
cause
do it.
yeah, well, we suggest that you try those out if you're to go about it.
Actually, it's a good idea. It's a really good
Yeah,
idea. I should
yeah.
do it. So maybe I'll go a little more public and not be such a recluse.
Yeah, because I mean, you did work on Nightmare Before Christmas, so
I did
that
I
that
did
been
work on that. Yeah, that was
yeah.
a really neat opportunity. I know the director Henry Selick, and actually, the truth is, when he was starting the film, he wanted me to art direct the movie, but that happened at the same time as Cool World. So I was in the
Oh,
middle of doing Cool World, and I actually considered leaving Cool World and going to do Nightmare Before Christmas. But I talked to a lawyer who said that I was so instrumental to the look of Cool World that if I up and left, I'd probably never work in this town again. So I didn't do it. But what I did
Damn.
do, I arranged to freelance for Henry Selick, and I did a lot of character design and location design for him and mailed it to him up in San Francisco. And I traveled up on weekends every now and then and would just look at them making the movie. And it was incredible. He had a giant warehouse, and there were stages all over the place and cameras all over the place, all taking, one frame at a time, move the character one frame at a time, that kind of thing. And it
yeah.
was it was it was something amazing. And actually, when I saw the movie, I was pretty blown away by Nightmare Before Christmas. There'd never been a stop motion movie like that before. And Henry was nice enough to give me credit for the work that I did.
Yeah.
But he just finished another movie that's I think it's on Netflix called Wendell and Wild, and I saw it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty awesome film.
Yeah.
Uh,
I watched it.
he, yeah, he's like the greatest stop motion director I think that ever lived. I mean, he his stuff is just amazing.
Yeah. Um, damn, but the fact that you got opportunities like that is must so real feeling to put your work out there in those films and been doing it for so long, and that's what you do for a living is the ultimate goal as an artist. So
Yeah.
it's I really it's the idea of it is incredible to me to think about to be
Oh,
in your shoes.
Pretty much.
thanks so
Yeah,
much. Thanks so
yeah,
much. I was going to give advice to young artists, though. When I do teach classes, I tell them to try to get your own identity and get known for something. And my work was always like a little distorted and twisted and strange, a little dark. And eventually I found an audience for it. And, it worked for lots of stuff. It worked for Ralph Bakshi. It worked for ZZ Top. It worked for, lots of movie posters, lots of things like that. I worked on Shrek. I worked on
yep,
a lot of films. It turns out could use me. And I think it's
yeah.
really because I didn't look like other artists, so
Oh,
it worked out okay for me. I'm lucky in a way.
yeah.
Yeah, because your style stood out compared to a lot of people. So it just like, should we go with a more original and
Yeah, yeah. I
Did you
mean,
ever?
it's
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you are doing your own thing, and you don't look like everybody else, you're more memorable. And that's the key. If you look like everybody else, you're easier to forget. So yeah, trying to be unique and be yourself is the thing that I advise artists to do. But you
Well,
were
that's
going to
good
ask me
advice.
something. Yeah, yeah. I'm an
Yeah, that's good
old
advice.
wise man. An old wise man giving advice to young artists. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Uh,
the kind of thing I do.
yeah. Another thing that I feel like you stand out amongst other artists is that the fact that you do more landscape. A lot of people don't do a lot of landscape pieces, which I can understand. It's a big task and
Because it's tough.
it's huge. Yeah. So people get discouraged, but for you, I mean, you've been doing it for so long, but for sure, they're just mind blowing. Like it's from the color, from the way you go about it, and
The
it's
colors, the design, the personality the image itself has.
yeah.
It's just like, damn.
Yeah, it's always fresh. You could tell that it's its own thing. It's not similar. It's completely different because you got from cool to warm, but then like there's little details that make it stand out different. I mean, you could tell from Nightmare, you could tell from Cool World that its whole identity, it's its own thing going on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is true that most people can tell my work without looking for a signature or anything like that. They can spot it a mile away and say that's a Barry Jackson. So
Yeah.
that's a reassuring thing for me. And I think it's been my saving grace over the years that sometimes it's worked against me. Like on Shrek, for example, I was supposed to production design Shrek, and I was given that job, but they could not get into my particular style at DreamWorks. They seemed to not understand it, and I had a very tumultuous 8 months as production designer of Shrek. Although I did do a test that got produced and did go online. I think even in the little ad you did for me, you can see the Shrek that I designed with Mike Plug, another artist, and I combined to make the first design of Shrek.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was crazy. But like I say, that I was too weird for them. That's really the word. I was too weird. So easy
Recently,
come,
There's nothing wrong with
easy
being
come,
weird.
easy go.
yeah. Just
Easy come,
recently, there
easy
was
go.
a screen test of Shrek that people have never ever seen of Shrek.
Oh yeah, there
And,
was on the internet.
Yeah, it's been trending lately. The original
Yeah,
designs of Shrek, and
I
and
know.
people
I
are tripping
actually
on it.
have a I have a copy of that particular footage because that's when I was the production designer. But I actually am very reluctant to put it online, just because I don't know. I kind of like it being. Maybe it's too painful of a memory or something. I don't know, but I do have a copy of that test. We did it with stop motion, and we did it with morphing sculpts. We did a lot of stuff to make that early test. Chris Farley was the voice of Shrek, and but like I say, yeah, it didn't. It's just a movie that didn't go my way. It's one of
Yeah.
those things where you kind of it's a sore spot with me. So,
Yeah.
but I
Someone
can talk.
commented Shrek would have had far more interesting, looked more interesting with Jackson art. I can't really see it because I'm blind as fuck with this thing. I'm like butchering it. Can you see it, Ho?
You know my eyes are messed up.
Oh, fuck. But either way, someone said that it would have been more interesting that the new film that it was today looks kind of boring and flat. So,
Yeah,
um,
actually, the production design for the Shrek movies is really pretty conservative. They have funny ideas in the Shrek movies for sure, and they got a
yeah.
good character with Shrek. All that's really good, but the actual designs and the lands that he goes to, I don't know. They're not that. I don't never thought that the production design was that interesting. Well, that's my opinion, but I'm probably prejudiced, because it didn't go my way. So, but that's
But
the
I
way,
mean, it would have been interesting to see that a whole film of Shrek of your art design. I would have liked to see that, or they should have made that version of it. That would have been.
It would have been way
different.
Yeah. It would have been, actually, when it was first pitched to me, Shrek was originally going to be a relatively inexpensive film. It was supposed to be like $14 million, which is nothing. And they wanted to do a dark, edgy kind of art film. But somehow, in the middle of the making of it, it started to get more and more expensive, and it started to change into a romance movie. And I was sort of against the romance movie idea, but that's what happened. And once they went with a romance story, well, they couldn't have all these weird buildings and stuff around, so it got kind of conventional looking, and that's why it ended up the way that it did. When it was Chris Farley as Shrek, it was a weirder story, and I think I had a chance to do like a really neat movie. But he died, and then they rewrote it, and what are you going to do? It's like, it's just the way the ball bounces, man. It's just the way things go sometimes.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Chris Farley, I didn't know he was gonna. I just found that out a couple years back that he was gonna play it, and that also alone would have been interesting as well for him to play Shrek.
Oh yeah, especially hearing him say like the lines with Eddie Murphy and everything, and the storyboards and everything. It just it would have seemed so much different compared to what they have with Mike Myers.
But it wasn't. Honestly, it wasn't even that much of a difference. It kind of seemed similar in a way.
A little bit. Well, not the voices, but it would have, like the story-wise, the way the panels were playing out, it seemed like it was similar, but damn, with his art style and then with Chris Farley's voice and the original script and everything, it would have been different. So much damn different.
It would have been different, that's for sure. But the point is, I
would have been all for it.
I'm curious, how the fuck would that have been?
Well, one thing is,
I'm just wondering.
I can't criticize what they did because it's one of the most successful franchises in animation history. Shrek made a lot of money, and then they had 4 sequels. I mean, they made tons of dough on it, so I can't really criticize it and say they did the wrong thing. Obviously, they figured out that it was going to be sort of a fractured fairy tale with a lot of gags, and then there'd be romance. It worked out nice. So, I get it.
But at least they give you a shot at the film. So
and they gave me screen credit on it. But anyway, I was gonna say the guy that directed Sausage Party also storyboarded on Shrek, and he came up with the Gingerbread Man, and a lot of the gags. He's actually the voice of the Gingerbread Man, and and when Shrek was lost for a long time, and they kind of didn't know what they were doing. But this guy, a friend of mine, Conrad, when he did the Gingerbread Man being interrogated by Farquaad, and he cut off his leg and asked him where the Muffin Man was and all that, all of a sudden it clicked, and everybody kind of understood what Shrek was. It's going to be a comedy where we make fun of fairy tales. And it was really Conrad's idea. And it changed the whole movie. They redid the whole movie, and then they made it this crazy fractured fairy tale with a love story in it. And everybody loved it. So that's when I would have liked it.
Make me laugh my ass off in that movie.
There's some really brilliant stuff in it. So, I would have liked to have come in as art director after they figured out what kind of movie it was. I was on too early. That was really my problem. I was on the scene too early. They needed to sort a bunch of shit out first, and then I could have done something with it. Listen to me sitting here lamenting about something that happened 20 years ago.
No, but the fact that
I still do.
No. It's no. We absolutely love hearing like backstories.
It's interesting to find out.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow.
Yeah.
It just the thought of it, guy, better every fucking time.
It puts a more light into the film. Like it kind of makes me see it a little bit different on how it became about and what was happening behind closed doors and people involved in it. So
when I was on it, there is a children's book called Shrek, and it's actually and it's a thin book written by a guy named William Steig. And they gave us this book, but there was nothing to the book. I mean, it was just this ogre going around and had horrible breath and the flowers would die. And then he finds a girlfriend who's as horrible as he is. And that's all there was. And I was going, wow, this will be great for me. I'll do a really weird world that he walks through. It's going to be fantastic. But they then, it's really, and for years they were really struggling because they couldn't figure out how the ogre is romantic. How can he be so ugly and yet he's got to be appealing? And they tried doing it as a serious movie for a while. It didn't work. They even tried to do it as a stop motion movie for a while. And eventually I still say my friend Conrad was the key. He came up with that gingerbread man, and that was the thing that set Shrek in motion where everybody got it. It's like, I get what to do now. And he was a very significant contributor to that movie. And then he later directed Sausage Party. So he's having a great career. He's doing wonderfully.
At the end, it came down to Gingy.
That was the turning point. A lot of people that I know, a lot of people that worked on it, and many say that was the turning point.
So that's what I'm talking about. It's the fact that I didn't know it was going to be a stop motion. The fact that there was also a book.
You know about the book?
Well, now I never knew there was a book. Now I'm like,
nobody knows about the book. Nobody knows that book.
Exactly.
Me and my wife found out about that by accident. It just popped up like, the origins of Shrek. Somebody actually made a video about it, and we seen it and said it was a book. And what the hell is? I think they said that Shrek was the antagonist. His breath smelled. Like you said, his breath smelled. Killed flowers. All this. Shit. Didn't look anything like it. Anything like the movie. Yeah. Really, he looked nothing like the movie.
It had very little in common with the movie except the title. That's about all.
So I like that. I like hearing different stories or they were having different approaches towards that movie itself. And who knows with other films what was going on behind the scenes and all that stuff, and what were they planning and what were they trying to do.
Yeah, it was surprising. On Nightmare Before Christmas, Tim Burton only visited the studio one time. He was like there for like a day, and it's a Tim Burton film. Everybody thinks that is kind of a Tim Burton movie. He came up with the idea. It was his concept, but he did it when he was working at Disney, and then he went off and became they let him go from Disney, and then he all of a sudden became a big filmmaker, and then Disney decided, we like your ideas, come back here and do one of your ideas. But he was doing Batman, so he gave Nightmare Before Christmas to Henry Selick. But really, Tim Burton was hardly ever there when they made that movie. It was really almost entirely Henry Selick who created that thing.
I think it had to do with something. Yeah. I think it had to do with something about being. My bad.
The one thing I just want to say, though, it was a brilliant idea, and it was Tim Burton's idea, and it was a brilliant idea. I can't ever, take anything away from Tim Burton. I mean, it was such a neat idea about holidays. Halloween robs Christmas. Kidnap Santa. Fantastic idea.
Hey, they're getting pretty crazy, man. Hey, man, we're gonna rob Santa. Let's do it. Fuck yeah, let's do it.
It wasn't only robbing Santa. They were saying about tying him up, dropping him in the ocean, drowning him, burying him alive. Like, damn. I'm not gonna lie. I still sing that shit to this day.
Oh man.
But I wanted to the process of the art, which
Do you still do acrylic paintings, or have you done also
No,
digital? And...
well, when I work commercially, I work digitally. But like I tell you, I'm doing my own art now, and I'm working in oil. So I have a
Oh
oil
wow.
painting studio in my garage, and I have a digital studio in another room in my house. So I can't get the two things near each other because that oil painting will get into the keyboard. You know how that goes, and mess everything up. But I do like to paint with oil. It's
um,
very challenging.
a question for acrylic, because your acrylic work looks absolutely like oil, which is pretty crazy because the acrylic looks really solid, and every time I work with acrylic, it never gets to that feel where it looks like an oil, which I always wondered
Yeah,
how you do it.
yeah. Probably what's going on, and I don't know because I haven't seen your work, but when I work with acrylic paint, I would begin by airbrushing the whole surface of the board a color. And
Okay.
I would always have it be a very neutral middle value color. And then
Mm.
I might draw on top of that color and then start painting. And then if
Oh.
the painting gets kind of rough, I might airbrush a veil of mist over it again and then go back in and paint again. And then,
Okay.
paint, airbrush, repeat like that. And eventually you can get a very refined image that way.
Yeah.
So if you want to try it, it's hard on airbrushes, but that's how I did all my movie posters. That's
Yeah.
what I did to get the look that I did. But it's a combination of brush work and airbrush.
It kind of the technique reminds me of um, oil practices where it's layers on top of layers and it gets thicker and thicker and thicker and eventually gets a solid image. That kind of sounds to me. It sounds like that, like how you apply oil paint
Yeah,
to a
if you're
canvas.
going to try to do acrylics, at least that look like mine, you would build up first you got to kill the white surface. You don't want that white
Yeah.
surface peeking through.
Yeah.
Then paint, then airbrush, repeat like that, and you build up layers, and you pretty soon you got it. But of course, it
Yeah.
also helps to have drawing ability and color sense and all that sort of thing too. That's all part of it.
Yeah, because I recently just got an airbrush machine, and I'm trying to come to that point where I'm able to fuse the two together with traditional painting and airbrushing. I'm trying to find that middle era or field in it where they both work with each other. So I'm trying to figure it out, but the way that you explained it, it makes sense 100%. So it's
Yeah, don't
thank you
you?
for that.
I never use the airbrush for any kind of detail. I just
Yeah.
use the airbrush for broad areas, for big areas.
Oh. Okay.
I didn't like cutting out little tiny friscuits of somebody's nose or something. That would all be hand painted. But
Yeah.
I generally veiled large areas with an airbrush, and that helped move things along, helps you be able to paint large. Sometimes you got to paint
Yeah.
big, and I
Yeah.
couldn't have done it without airbrushing some. So
Oh man.
uh,
Yeah.
one the ZZ Top album covers I did were 6 feet long and 3 feet tall, so they were very large paintings. And
Yeah.
I would take them into the band, and that made the painting more powerful, and they would like it more. So you could an album cover is really only 12 by 12, but I would do them very, very large front and back, and that also helps with the power of the picture. So sometimes you want
Yeah.
to come with a big image. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Now I'm
That's
definitely gonna try
Right.
to apply those together like that in that form because with oil, oh man, it works perfectly fine. To get thicker and thicker paint over time, and it works fine. And I just found that out about oils because I was struggling with oils, but it's a matter of thick to thick, thin to thick. and I was like, oh wow, that totally makes sense.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and most oil painting artists will work middle value first, and then work in the darks, and then do the lights like that. So start with the middle tones, and
yeah.
also most of them work with very neutralized colors first, and then build the brighter, more saturated colors at the end. That's another thing you might consider if you're going to do it.
Yeah.
But it's my advice, whatever. But
Yeah, no, the acrylic, because I've been using acrylic for a very long time, but the fact that this technique that you're describing to me, it kind of, and then I got an airbrush is cool. So I want to apply both of them together, how you're explaining it. But yeah, now I feel like drawing and painting.
hey, there you go.
Yeah,
Well,
you just inspired him.
Yeah, and
yeah.
It's about damn time.
To be honest, yeah, exactly. To be honest, I haven't been creating art, but I'm happy that we're interviewing because it motivates me to get back at it and stop being a lazy ass and not being motivated. So this is actually helping me a fuck ton. So
Hey, you can take my Zoom class. I teach an
there you go.
online Zoom
See?
class. And
Yeah.
the next Zoom class starts January 7th. So if you want to be a part of it, you can sit in on the first class for free. And if you like it, you can take the course. So I don't know, I've probably taught over 100 Instagram followers of mine at some time or another. They've taken a class from me to just learn like how I do it. So
No,
it's fun.
I definitely need that. I definitely need that because it kind of depresses me, the fact that I'm not touching a brush lately. So
Because you're touching yourself.
that too.
Well,
But we have about a few more minutes left. You want to show him?
I can feel his face get red.
You want to show him a piece?
Which one?
Of yours. You'll show him
A piece of mine?
Show him the coffee one. Don't be shy. Don't be giddy.
Yeah,
Be giddy.
so we're reaching.
So this is his. This is his work.
oh man, that's very cool. I like it very much.
Like
Now it's got a little glare on it.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
Oh
damn it.
man,
There
did
go.
you do that? Did you do that with acrylic paint?
Yes, I did.
Oh, it's fantastic. I like the way you're panning over it like that. That's really cool. A little on the dark side, I see.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah. But how long have you been with digital art? I want to ask you about that too as well.
Oh, well, what happened was I guess it was about 1994. I started to see the signs that this digital age was coming, and I had a friend who was using Photoshop. It was very crude back in 1994, but I could tell that was the way things were going to go. So I bought a computer and then kind of taught myself Photoshop. And then, then you meet more and more Photoshop artists and you start sharing tricks and ways of working, ways of using it, all that kind of thing. And yeah, it's really practical for commercial work, because the problem with commercial work is the client always changes his mind. Like, I'd rather have a house over there, whatever. But with digital, it's very easy to fix. With hand painted stuff, it's very difficult to do sometimes. Sometimes it's impossible. So yeah, digital, just I gradually learned it in the mid 90s. That's when I got into it. But I could see that that's the way it was going to go.
Shit, I still haven't gotten into digital.
Yeah, I've been doing digital for about 2 years now.
Let's say it's been more than a year.
Yeah, it's fairly recent, but this is like a couple months back that I did.
Nice. We got 2 horror films in one.
Yeah, I love this film that they made in 2000.
Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah. So I did
That's
that,
cool.
but it's it's pretty easy. At first, obviously, you're gonna struggle with it, which I think you would do fantastic with digital. Um,
I struggle with it a little bit. That's only because I don't know what the hell I'm doing most of the time. And that comes down to everything I'm doing most of the time.
yeah.
Even like with the painting I just showed, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just like, let's see what happens. That's usually my art process.
Yeah, but
Well,
I've been messing with it, and I'm just getting the hang of it. It's another simple black and white Donald that I did.
oh, another schizophrenic piece I see. Donald Duck and something awful.
I love that description.
Yeah.
Another schizophrenic piece.
I've done a few of them.
Oh my God, look at that. That's incredible. That's really nice.
Yeah, and I made shirts of that Mickey, and I wear it to Disneyland, and people were always asking me where the hell did I get the shirt, and I was like, well, it's my only shirt, like it's my design, and they were like, what the hell, bro? I'm like, yeah, I designed it and everything.
Oh, I think it's a great
put on
t-shirt.
What happened?
Oh, I just said I think it's a great t-shirt.
Oh yeah, thank you, appreciate it. But it's just lately, it's just been getting better and better as I progress with digital. It's another simple one that I did.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it a lot.
You got the,
Even he likes your work.
Whoa, yeah.
you got
you know
the,
how artists are.
you got the art spirit.
Yeah, we're critical about our stuff, but
Yeah, that's a topic we covered a lot. That
yeah.
everybody who creates anything is like your own. It's you're your own worst critic, and it's just like fuck. I gotta do it all over again.
Who painted the background that's behind you guys?
It's a mixture of a lot of things. We have pieces from our friends.
It's a schizophrenic background.
Yeah.
Hey.
So it's multiple things going on in the background.
I get you.
We have some pieces from.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like German expressionism or something, or it's a little bit like Jean-Michel Basquiat. That's what it made me think of.
This is our.
This is actually part of our merch.
What is it called?
Cuddle Corpse.
Cuddle Corpse is what we made from fully handmade from scratch.
Oh man, really nice.
Yeah, it's all in-house merch that we made.
Very nice.
Yeah,
you can by the way.
Yeah, they're for sale.
That can be somebody's Christmas present.
Oh, that'll be awesome to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But our logo is mainly called the Laughing Coffin, which is the background on this body bag. It's called the Laughing Coffin.
Nice.
But we try to make our own merch from our own designs, and people always trip out like how original it is and all this good stuff. So,
no, I think there's some that's cool stuff you guys are doing. That's great.
Yeah,
thank you.
I'd love to see you keep doing it.
Yeah, we're hanging in there. So far it's been absolutely amazing. Obviously, we get amazing people like you and different artists all over the world, not just in the States, but sometimes we go from Russia to Germany and all over the place. We try to interview people. So
most recent furthest was what? Poland?
Poland? Yeah.
Yeah, he was in Poland.
Wow.
It's been great. We love it, and we're for sure going to keep doing it and try to see what else could happen with the podcast. So,
oh man, that's a neat idea.
Yeah, thank you. We really do appreciate it. But we hit our mark eventually.
Already?
10 o'clock. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun, and we appreciate that you took the time to talk to us. I know an hour is kind of long, so.
Nah, it's fine. I'm happy to do it, and I'm really sorry I missed the first time around. I just didn't get how it worked. I barely figured it out this time. So
yeah.
it's
it's all good. But at least you're here now. That's all that matters, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, thanks for having me. This was really fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on.
Yeah. Any shout outs, any handles people probably could reach you at? I mean, you can put it out there if you want.
Well, if they're interested in buying, which is BarryEJacksonArt.com. If you go there, I have a book that has 124 pages of my artwork. And I sell books all the time. So if anyone's interested, nice Christmas present. It's
nice.
it's something that I'm
yeah, we'll get a book. I want a book.
I want a book too. Everybody gets a book.
Everybody gets a book.
Pay for it with your own money. That's the difference. We are not Oprah.
But yeah, we appreciate it, like I said before, and just man, thank you. I can't express it enough. It's hard.
He's still a little shocked that you're on here.
Yeah. So, all right, Barry.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, we hope you had fun. We hope you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, we try to get as much information and talk as many topics as we can. So it was great. I had fun. Any final words, Mr. Dead Guy?
Final words is also going to be on YouTube. Everybody who's been watching this, or if you're new, well, then I'm going to fucking tell you. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified, do all that fun stuff. We have merch. Go right ahead and check it out. Check this guy's workout. Holy shit. The movies he's worked on, everything he's done. Go to his Instagram, see everything that's like posters that haven't been used, that have been used. His work is just amazing, honestly. So go check it out. Believe that should be it.
All right. All right, Mr. Jackson. It's nice talking to you, and be safe.
I will. Thank you. So long.
Bye.
Bye-bye.